Cold exposure, whether through brisk showers, ice baths, or controlled cryotherapy sessions, is emerging as one of the most effective and accessible natural strategies to influence hormonal balance and optimize physiological function. While it may initially feel uncomfortable, deliberate exposure to cold triggers a cascade of adaptive responses that affect stress regulation, mood, metabolism, and recovery. These effects are not limited to elite athletes. Adults of all ages can experience significant benefits, making cold exposure a versatile and cost-free tool for improving both daily performance and long-term health. By understanding its influence on key hormones, cortisol, dopamine, norepinephrine, and metabolic regulators, individuals can harness cold exposure to enhance energy, focus, resilience, and overall vitality. One of the most immediate hormonal effects of cold exposure is its impact on the sympathetic nervous system, which drives the body's fight or flight response. Cold immersion activates this system, prompting the release of norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter that enhances alertness, focus, and mood. Elevated norepinephrine improves signal transmission between neurons, sharpening attention and working memory, and also acts as a natural anti-inflammatory agent, reducing tissue inflammation and supporting recovery in physically active individuals. For athletes, this heightened norepinephrine response can improve reaction times, energy efficiency, and resilience to training stress, while adults who engage in regular cold exposure often report greater mental clarity and sustained motivation throughout the day. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter closely linked to reward, motivation, and mood regulation, is also positively influenced by cold exposure. Brief, controlled periods of cold immersion stimulate dopamine release, producing an immediate sense of alertness and well-being. Regular exposure can lead to sustained increases in dopamine activity, which not only enhances motivation and emotional resilience, but also supports long-term cognitive function and stress management. For athletes, this translates into a greater capacity to maintain focus during intense training or competition, while for adults in demanding work environments, it fosters mental clarity, sustained energy, and the ability to handle challenging situations with composure. Cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, is another critical target of cold exposure. While chronic elevation of cortisol is associated with fatigue, impaired sleep, and metabolic disturbances, controlled cold exposure helps regulate its levels by inducing adaptive stress responses. Short bursts of cold act as a mild stressor that trains the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis, improving the body's resilience to everyday stressors and supporting faster recovery from both mental and physical exertion. Over time, this adaptive process leads to more balanced cortisol rhythms, better sleep quality, and enhanced mood, reducing the risk of stress-related hormonal imbalances and chronic inflammation. Cold exposure also has important implications for metabolic hormones, including insulin, thyroid hormones, and growth factors. The activation of brown adipose tissue during cold immersion increases energy expenditure and thermogenesis, which enhances insulin sensitivity and improves glucose regulation. This metabolic boost not only supports weight management, but also contributes to overall energy efficiency, allowing both athletes and adults to perform optimally throughout the day. Additionally, some studies suggest that cold exposure can modestly influence thyroid function, stimulating hormone activity that supports basal metabolic rate and energy production. Growth factors involved in cellular repair and adaptation are also positively affected, contributing to tissue recovery, reduced inflammation, and long-term metabolic health. The benefits of cold exposure extend beyond the physical to the psychological, creating a holistic effect on well-being. The combination of increased norepinephrine and dopamine, along with adaptive cortisol regulation, enhances mood, emotional resilience, and cognitive flexibility. Athletes often experience faster mental recovery after training sessions, improved focus during high-pressure events, and greater motivation for consistent practice. Adults in non-athletic contexts find that cold exposure enhances mental clarity energy levels, and stress tolerance, providing a natural, low-cost method to navigate demanding professional or personal environments. Importantly, cold exposure is highly adaptable and scalable, making it accessible to a wide range of individuals. Brief cold showers, splashing cold water on the face, or alternating between cool and warm water during regular hygiene routines can provide measurable hormonal and metabolic benefits. For those seeking a more intense intervention, ice baths or cryotherapy sessions offer deeper stimulation of norepinephrine, dopamine, and metabolic pathways, producing more pronounced effects on energy, mood, and resilience. The key is consistency and gradual adaptation, which allows the body to respond efficiently without causing undue stress or discomfort. In essence, cold exposure is a natural, cost-free strategy with profound implications for hormonal balance. By enhancing norepinephrine and dopamine, regulating cortisol, and supporting metabolic hormones, it improves energy, focus, mood, and resilience in both adults and athletes. When incorporated consistently into daily life, cold exposure not only enhances immediate physical and cognitive performance, but also fosters long-term health, metabolic efficiency, and emotional well-being. It exemplifies how simple, intentional engagement with natural environmental stimuli can optimize biological systems, demonstrating that deliberate cold exposure is both a powerful performance tool and a sustainable pathway to vitality and longevity.